All right, so kind of hopping into the morning. Obviously, I'll mark out 8:30 open right here. You can see we just ripped up. Nothing crazy was really entertaining me. Obviously, we should be waiting until 8:40 unless there's a very, very clear A+ setup. So with that in mind, there was a setup right after 8:40 when we started chopping around for a little bit. Nothing really clear, nothing picking my mind or wanting me to dabble in anything. However, we did get a little setup right here. Obviously, we repriced off of this fair value gap right here. Had some good displacement. Broke this low right here on this one. Would have been tagged in right here at this bottom yellow line. But what prevented us, Ark and I, from taking this was, I got to scoot all the way back over here on the 1 minute, was you can see by that highlighted yellow box. It's a big old 1 minute fair value gap from open there. I believe Seth was saying if there is a big fair value gap or like opening fair value gap, try to opening bell, do we disregard those or treat those as normal? 100% treat those as normal. I'm expecting, a fair value gap's a fair value gap. It really doesn't matter. When we, like I always say, there has to be at least 12 points. In this case, what is there not? 12 points. You have like 4 points of room. So I'm automatically expecting if this does work out, it's going to be a TP break even max. And as you can see, that's exactly what happened. You would have been, with the +2, you would have been stopped out right up there. So that would have been a TP break even. My focus is on finding these setups that are going to yield the highest probability of going to full TP of at least 12 points. When we have roadblocks like this and below us and we're taking a short, I'm not expecting it to be very high probability. I'm expecting us to chop around just as we did. So with that in mind, the next setup that Art took, I didn't get filled on this, quite unfortunately, somehow. Trade of 8, usually always giving me issues. But this was a textbook A+ setup. We had inverted this fair value gap up here, created this big 1 minute fair value gap, as you can see right here. Came back up into it, broke this low right here. If I mark it out. Broke that low right there. Even closed below that little 15-second fair value gap too. And we would have been tagged in right on the first candle. Quite beautiful. So I don't even think that's a tick. Ark, you had 0 drawdown on that, right? 0 drawdown. That's what I'm saying. And then that one did end up going 14 points. So it would have hit 12 at a minimum. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want roadblocks in front of me. When I'm taking a scalp, I want it to be as clean and as quick as possible. As you can see, this trade was 15, 30, 45, 1 minute, a minute 15, and a minute and 30 seconds. Can't really get better than that, to be completely honest. And then this next one, let me scoot over on the 1 minute. So we'd repriced off of this fair value gap right here. We did have a big 1 minute fair value gap. I think that's why Ark and I did not take this, as well as we were in the -2, -2.5 standard deviation. I'll cover how I drew that here in a second. But as far as this one, obviously we did reprice blurry a bit. Okay, I'll wait a second, but I'll still talk. So we repriced off this 15-second fair value gap down here, as well as that one right there. Displaced up, had another 15-second fair value gap form, reprice off that, and then we get a scalp setup. And this is something I want to note. Ark and I were kind of talking about it. We've noticed, and like kind of looking back on some previous things, this is 100% true. When we have flat highs like this, we should probably start. What'd you send a screenshot? I don't know why that's doing that. That doesn't make sense. Why it's getting blurry. But back to what I was saying, when we have flat highs like this, can y'all see this? Those flat highs? There's no prominent middle candle. This should not, okay, now it's clear. Okay, good. This should not realistically be treated as a breakage structure, as it's technically not within the pattern that a breakage structure has. It's a 3-candle pattern with the middle one being an outlier, not some flat equal high points. But this one still would have went 9 points. Obviously, we did not take this because we're coming up into the -2, -2.5 standard deviation. And like I said, I'm wanting to take the ones that are going to yield the highest probability of going 12 points. And when we have a standard deviation projection right up here, that is 5.5 points away, count me out. Although this one still would have been a TP break even. Can we explain that one again? Why it wasn't good? Because it wasn't too clear before. Yeah. So we do. Let me go back over on the 1 minute. You can see we had just cleared over here, right? CISD, we're just starting to displace up. We have this open 1 minute fair value gap that we have yet to reprice back into. However, we did reprice off this 15 second, and then we get the scalp set up here. And then what I was saying was that Ark and I kind of discussed this, and I look back on some previous things, and it's 100% true. When we have flat highs put in like this, and this middle one's not higher, we're really thinking that's not a good way to count a breakage structure. It's not going to be as clean as where this one would be higher. Does that make sense? Not necessarily a liquidity sweep, but just a weak break. Does that make sense? It should be like, oh, stop moving. This is how it should be. The break above this. When it's like this, nah. Yep, spot on. So keep a mental note of that. Yeah, like a middle finger. Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. Just a middle finger on the chart. And then the next setup, there were some people that did take this, and this is something I kind of want to talk about because on such low time frame, you're going to get a bunch of misreads in a sense, and I don't want y'all building bad habits. When I say if there's equal lows, do not, like equal lows below your entry, do not take it. It's not going to, like, you're going to take more losses on that than you're going to take more wins. And this one just so happened, like, if we were ranging here, obviously we were right here, but it was clear that price was in a buy program. If you're able to spot a market maker model, it would have been pretty clear this was the first leg of accumulation right here. But if we were just chopping sideways this whole time, especially on the 1 minute, you could have kissed yourself goodbye right there because more than likely that's not going to work out. If it isn't cursing at me, then don't listen to it. I mean, that's a good way to put it. Oh, that's funny. And then, Art, did you say someone had a question about this one? Because there was like two right here. I do want to explain this is another equal low right here. Yeah, so let me scoot up. So, yeah. This one, again, we are in a steep premium. So already longs are going to be kind of questionable to me. I heard somebody, forget who, say something about if we reprice from a 1 minute fair value and continue that, we can disregard the equal. I don't know whoever said that, but no. Yeah, no problem. If there are equal lows, sit. That's something I'm going to be honest, like, I don't understand it because the frequency is so high that you're going to get a lot of setups throughout a week, right? If there is something telling you that you should be passing up on it, i.e. one of the rules that I've given you isn't validated, why take it? You're putting yourself at risk for something unknown, right? You want to be taking the highest probable. You don't want to be wasting your hard-earned work and possibly take a loser on a setup because, God forbid, let me say this, right? If this setup happened right here, right, and you happen to get stopped out, and you looked at it, you saw those equal lows before, right? Okay, and this came and stopped you out, would you be saying the same thing, or would you be kicking yourself? Be honest. That's the goal here. I don't want you building bad habits on setups that aren't over time going to work out in your favor. Oh, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you were on last night, you remember me talking about this. I think it was Yama that asked. He was like, when do we start disregarding equal highs and equal lows, right? What do we break through right here and close below? Bullish for value gap. That tells me that this is being saved for later. As you can see, held true, taken right over there, and that A plus came right after it. Does that make sense? Similar to the equal high and PM sesh that got ran an hour. Yep. Spot on. Spot on. So again, my thought process here, I would never take this trade because we are in such a steep premium. It's not going to be favorable for me. Question becomes proximity and what by so. Yeah, no, legit. But this one, obviously, mechanically, this one you would have taken. And I think this one did go, yeah, it went 6 points. So you would have been TP break even here. But obviously, we displaced above that high. Would have got tagged in right there on the second candle. This one did come back into that 1 minute fair value gap as expected. And then did start to trim back up and went 6 points. And this one is, we have 2 stacked equal lows. So this automatically would have been invalid. That's something you need to train your eye for, is spotting these. It's really easy to not see them. But once you start seeing them, like I've seen it with Yama already. Like one day, he just started seeing them. But yeah, those equal lows fried me today. That's what I'm saying, is a lot of people get excited about getting a win off of when there's some equal lows below them. But if you've been trading this model for more than a couple weeks, closer to a month, you'd understand exactly what I'm saying. 948.45 is where I entered before Ark told me about equal lows. Yeah, right there. You'd have been tagged in. Yeah, but we had 2 equal lows right here and right there. And then the last setup, it was a pretty solid 30-second play. It would have been a TP break even. Wish it wouldn't have, but this thing was freaking beautiful. We were coming off. Let me go over it on the 1 minute. Just look at this, and then I'll go back and explain the standard deviations I used. Right. So look how the 1 minute. I hope it's clear. Look how the 1 minute was respecting that -4 body wise. Crisp. And when the -4 is hit, we are expecting a retracement back into the range. So that automatically gives me confluence to be looking for shorts, right? We happen to, on this one, we inverse this 1 minute for value gap right here, start to displace down, break below some equal lows, have our actual valid break of structure right there. Blurry, we good? Okay. Have our actual valid break of structure right there, and we would have been tagged in right there on the first candle, and this one did chop around for a little bit. Would have came back, hit 6 points right there. Actually, no, this actually would have been a full winner. Well, actually, let me see. Yeah. So if you're in one contract, that probably would have stopped you, but if you're in a couple, I feel like one of them would have been left on the table. I've seen that happen multiple times. But besides the point, this one is really, really good. Really, really good. This is why I use standard deviation projections, because it gives me confluence. Like this automatically, when I see this setup, like when Ark and I were on this morning, I was like, dude, this is so like this is perfect. This is perfect. But it just so happened to be a TP break even. But before he just absolutely melted back into the range. So that was AM session. I want y'all to give me some questions. Of these AM trades, which ones did you actually take? It was, so that first one I didn't get filled on, and I believe it was, let me bump down to the 15 second. I'd only taken one today. I want to say, what one was it? I think it was a 30-second one that I had got in. It was a bad long, but I was jumping back and forth between the 30 and 15. So I got in a little late, and it actually did not stop me out. Am I on the 30 second? Yeah. Where is it? Right here. That one. I like this one because we had closed above that -2, -2.5. And I was looking back and forth between the 15 and 30 right now, and I actually ended up getting filled somewhere down about there. And then this one did go up. I think I can show on. We go to, I don't know if it will still have my executions. because they usually reset after. Yeah, they usually reset after like 5 o'clock. But yeah, it was that 30-second one that I got in a little bit late on. So this one, like I said, that 15-second right here, that A+, I did not get filled on that somehow. Can you go over the 10:45 a.m. EST again? Yeah. 15-second, right? I'd assume so. 10:45 a.m. So 9:45. Right here. So, like I was saying, I do not trade this model mechanically, discretionary. This one automatically, even though it would have been a TP break even, right up here, when we are in such a steep premium, I'm not going to be really entertaining longs near as much as I would shorts. So in this case, but obviously, like I was saying, if you're trading it mechanically, this still would have been an ATP break even. But we had this open 1 minute fair value gap that had yet to be repriced. So I'm automatically expecting that to be repriced back into if we are wanting to continue higher. So that automatically kind of tells you you're going to be taking some heat on this trade, right? If it wants to come back to the CE, that's already 5.5 points of heat. And then 12, you still would have been safe right down there before it went to 6. And then this one right here would have automatically been invalid because of these equal lows. Yeah, but no, like setup wise, that A+ in the morning, and then what other one were we looking at? Because there was a bunch of equal lows put in. That A+ was really like, if I had to pick and choose, that would have been the only one I would have taken this morning. Because like I'm not focused on taking every single damn setup I get. I don't think y'all understand. Like if you do the math on just taking one of these a day with an 80% win rate out of 252 trading days in a year, just look at the P&L. Look at the return. I'm trying to have like a 30-second work day. You know what I mean? Not having repriced on open fair yet below is a great signal to not. Yeah, because I mean, you automatically know you're going to be taking some heat because more than likely, especially when we are in a steep premium, we're expecting those to get retraced back into. Obviously, like down here, there's going to be some breakaway gaps because we are starting to spool up as we get our CISD right here. Once we get that, I'm expecting this to support price and not come down to these. Does that make sense? You had a deadly short in PM. Go over that. One for the peeps. Okay. Oh, yeah. This thing was beautiful. Let me mark it up real quick. I do want to because, like I said, I was not explicitly trading my scalping model in PM. I like to trade discretionary in PM. So I was using ES and DXY. Let me bump down to the 1 minute. So first, I had taken a inverse play. Where was it? I'm trying to remember. I'm confusing. I need to pull this back up so I can get the 1 minute right here. Let me go all the way to PM. So this line right here is a higher time frame -1 standard deviation. Saw a reaction we got right here. Took out some sell side right here. We did have a 5 minute fair value gap right here. That we had repriced back into, and we were starting to displace out of it. And I recognized that we had a 1 minute bearish fair value gap right here, right? So once we closed above that, I had a limit set right here. This is the first trade I took in PM after I got back from the gym and got on the charts. And initially, what made me want to be so convinced about this was that triple equal highs, it's always going to be a draw, especially when overall structure is bullish. And we were just absolutely ripping on the morning. So what I did here was, is that the right tool? Yeah. So limit right there. I had a stop, really tight stop right here. 6.5 points, just targeting right up here. That one only took 1.25 points of heat. It was quite nice. And then the second trade that I had taken was yet another inverse. If we go look up at ES right here, we had SMT right here. SMT and then DXY at the time was bouncing off a 5 minute order block. And we had a bunch of equal highs above on DXY. So when I saw that, this was kind of my confirmation. I was like, all right, sweet. If I get some confirmation that we're wanting to go short, I'm going to be looking to take some. And we just so happen to get a clean 1 minute inverse right here after that SMT occurred. I entered right there and took this one down to, I had drawn my standard deviations right here. I think I took this one out. Where did I take it out? I think it was at this low right here, right below the -1. I wasn't trying to catch a crazy move, but when I saw this displacement, we closed below. Let me bump up to the 5 minute real quick. 5 minute, yeah. Once we had closed below this, I was like, all right, I definitely left some on the table, right? So when I saw that, this is to me is automatically a change of state of delivery. I'm expecting at least a short-term move back down the range to take out some sell side. Even though overall on the day was bearish, when I saw that occur, especially on the 5 minute, that holds a lot of power. So bumping back down to the 1 minute, if you're familiar with SBZ, which is silver bullet zone, right? I think this was actually a 30-second, if I remember right. So SBZ is basically just silver bullet zone. So whenever there's like a certain fair value gap, like a singular fair value gap within there, always going to be eating at that. And we also did have a 5 minute breaker. And this one, I believe I entered on, once we put these, I initially had a limit set after we'd repriced into this fair value gap up here because we were starting to come back up. But, no, this is definitely 1 minute. But I recognized that we actually had some SMT there against ES. And I ended up getting in right at this order block because it chopped around for a little bit. Ended up getting right at that order block and rode this puppy down to -4. And I posted everything on the on my Twitter. But what gave me high conviction to re-enter this, even though we had came down to the -2, -2.5, was this 5 minute change of state of delivery, as well as that 1 minute fair value gap right inside of the SBZ zone. It was actually this fair value gap right here. Yeah, it was 1 minute. That fair value gap. And when I saw that reaction, basically just IO fed, I was like, yeah, 100%. That's why initially I had a limit set at that turtle soup right up there. But didn't come up there, and we started to displace off, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to get in that order block. And I did leave enough room if it did want to cup. I believe I had stop set, I think right there. But took like nothing on this. I think it was like 4 points. Yeah, 4 points of heat. And then come down to the -4. And look where it just so happened that we reversed from. -4. Yeah, no, those inverses were nice. It's really easy to get wrong inverses because there's, especially on the 1 minute, but like with the right framework, 100%. Are there any other morning setups that you want me to cover? I believe ARC, yeah, he had this. Here's a good example of, this is in PM before 12:30, but it's still a really good example of what a good loser is. This was a 30-second play, right, ARC? Do volume and bounces. Scalping mode. This is a good example of a good loser on the 1 minute. Yeah, Brendan, I'll go over yours here in a second. Give me one moment because I want to cover this. So this one right here, we inverse this. That 1 minute after taking this low right here, as well as inversing that fair value gap over here. So this automatically, like I would have high conviction on this. And as you can see, the direction was right. But when we're playing with tighter stops, this is going to happen sometimes. And that's part of it because you can see it just wicked us out. Took that low right there, turtle souped it, and then continued up. And this one would have hit a lot of points. But that's a great example of a good loser. Do volume imbalances play any part in your scalping model? Can't cite a specific example of if there's a market structure shift without a fair value gap, but there's volume. Nah. Fair value gaps only. Fair value gaps are my bread and butter. Have a good evening, Mason. Yeah, good to see you. Alrighty, what other questions y'all got? Satsumi. Oh, do you want me to go over the standard deviation projection in the morning? Yep. I have the 30-second pulled up over here. I'll just go back over. So this is kind of like a cheat code in identifying the right standard deviations. This specific pattern. This right here that I'm about to highlight is our manipulation leg. It's exactly what happened right here. Down, up, down, manipulate, trap people, go long. I'm marking my standard deviation off this low to that high. All those down close candles. That is a low time frame market maker buy model. As you can see, original accumulation over here. Ready to see some sauce? Low risk buy, first fair value gap. First leg accumulation, first leg distribution. Second accumulation, distribution. Complete. -4. And as you can see on the 1 minute, it's quite beautiful. Like I was saying earlier, how the body's respected that -4. Yeah, random. And you can see it was kind of sloppy, but it still held. Like I always say, I put my emphasis on the -2, -2.5. We get a close above it, supports it, comes back down, wicks a little bit below, and then rips up. And the -2 to -2.5 sends us to a -4. That first 22, yeah, that's a low risk buy right there. Or, yeah, that'd be the good one. Right before the actual CSD, there was another that could have been thought to be a CISD breaker made, but then it went down further. How do you know when the first is not? What time? This? Are you talking about this? I'll tell you why right now. We zoom out just a smidge. London low. This right here is trapping people. This is trapping dumb ICT traders. Dumb smart money. We are engineering liquidity right here. We have AM low right here. We have London low right here. This is trapping people right here. That's exactly what that is. We have to wait for a clear sell side level to be taken. Yep, that's because it didn't sweep it yet. That was just straight up engineering liquidity. Because you could be like, all right, here's our CISD. I'm expecting this. This is that same pattern that I just showed. It's literally just trapping dumb smart money. And you got absolutely wrecked. And also, we were repricing off that 1 minute for very good, but not that that matters. That's actually a really good example if you're wanting to start getting into some standard deviation stuff. As long as, yeah. Wait, how far away can a signal be from an unmitigated fair value gap? If not to matter, because in theory there'll always be a gap lower. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I see what you're saying about like say that this open fair value, is that like kind of what you mean? Like just like little open fair value gaps like below. Yeah, just the most recent one has to be repriced off of. Ark, you have any thoughts? Add? What long are you talking about? You said 10:01? Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, even then, that would automatically be kind of invalid because we have this 1 minute for value gap that we're pricing into. Yeah, 100%. That's something I've realized. Yeah, that's something I've realized is like I have so much screen time with this. Like I know what to and what not to take. I think that's why like there's obviously an advantage, but like everything I'm giving y'all is everything the way I see it. And like when I say we're in a steep premium and I don't want to really be convinced that longs are the best idea until I see some more structure for them, that's what I mean. Also, regarding the last example where people were wondering why it wasn't a CSD, fair value gap need to be in context of time frame above it. If you look at that M5, you can see that it's just trade. Yep, exactly. Exactly. You can see right here too. Right there, we're still respecting bearish PD raise. And then as we start closing above these 1 minute bearish PD raise, that's your signification that order flow is changing. As well as this CISD. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yama, are you still in here? Yeah, you are. Remember what we talked about yesterday, Yama? About A+ setups only? You're good today, though. The one it took looked at A+ setup sets equal. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Definitely. Glad you're able to identify the A+, though. Just got to get those equal lows down. Yep. Yep. What are the questions we got? Also, I will say going into tomorrow, be careful. It's CPI. There's going to be a lot of volatility. And when I say a lot, there's going to be a lot. So really only try and identify A+. When I got the TV one breaking, but basically ARK was telling me. A lot of movement also means a lot of money, but you got to be on the right side. When you thought you were Superman. That's funny. I love that. For beginners, best to best and learn about paper trading. I mean, yeah, I mean, anybody that's still trying to learn something should 1000% be demoing it. I mean, that's what you should be doing in the first place. Otherwise, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I'll catch you tomorrow, Bull. Yes, tomorrow will be exciting. I'll see you later. And yeah, I put setup so we can go over just to train my eyes. Let's check PM real quick, because I haven't really looked at PM much for this scalp. You know what? Was that one we were discussing? Remember that one ARK? No, not that one. Not that one. I think, I don't know why I bumped up to the 1 minute on that time frame. Yeah, no, I'm talking about PM. PM. Let me bump back down to the 30 on this time frame. Yeah. So for me, since I do like inversions, I would classify this, let's say A minus, but it's the same context as kind of how an A plus works. We're using a 1 minute inefficiency and then delivering off of it and getting our scalp set up, right? So right here, you can see that we close below this bullish 1 minute fair value gap, right? And we get a scalp setup coming out of it. This was beautiful, right? Displaced below that low, fair value gap, no equal highs. Tagged in right there. 4.5 points of heat. And then this one just melted. Cool 28 points. Oh, I go live. I mean, honestly, emotionally, that's probably gonna get you ahead a little bit, but psychologically, you're gonna be kind of screwing with yourself. But if you can control yourself, sure, why not? In a sense, yeah. IFVGs are a tad bit different than fair value gaps. It's kind of like, in terms, like, a lot of times there will be cases where we won't return to, I use M1 for confirmation. So 1 minute inversions for 15-second scalps out, full body closure. Yes, no wicking through. But the thing with inverse fair value gaps is you're not always going to get it retraced to. Like, example, if a fair value gap gets formed, are you just going to automatically long? No, you're going to wait for a retracement back into it. But inverses are a tad bit different. You're not always guaranteed to get a clean retrace back into it. A lot of times we'll just start spooling from there. Does that make sense? Yeah, exactly. That's just understanding that order flow is flipping as we're starting to disrespect bullish PD race. Butane. Yeah, if you're a tad bit more advanced, I mean, inverse fair value gaps, sure, but if you're still wanting to just nail this down and have a high quality, high consistent setup, just A plus, as I always say. Let's see if there's any. I'm trying to see. No. Delivery into a 1 minute for inverse and 1 minute down there. Ooh. Let's see. No. Nada. What is this? What time's that at? Oh, no 1 minute. I'm trying to find a good A plus in PM. I don't see this pricing off any right here. No scalp setup right there. I think I have, let me check. I think I have a really good, because in a sense, the A pluses are gonna, I'm like, they're almost identical with the way they look. Let me check. I think I have a really good, like, honestly, that 1 in the morning, just study that, ingrain that in your mind, because 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look exactly like that. Let me go back to it. Right here. Crisp. 1 minute for value gap. Displace out. Scalp setup. A plus. Bread and butter. You can see right here. Zilch drawdown. Zilch. Yeah, my friend. You always have these memes. Gonna have that as my wallpaper. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, you can see, like, out of all the setups this morning, what one had the fastest and cleanest delivery? A plus. I'd say more than that, to be completely honest. Yeah, exactly. This one was at entry was at 8:54:45 CST. If y'all want, I can screenshot this right now and send it in chat, and y'all can save it. Let me get this sent in. Right there. Y'all should be able to save that. I'd assume so. I think that's how Discord works. Put it on your phone, put it on your wall, put it on your monitor, put it right down in front of you on your desk. Look at it before you go to bed. Look at it first thing in the morning. Look at it while eating breakfast. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, tape it to your ceiling. Tape it to your ceiling. If you don't see one for an entire day, you know who to miss on your phone. Oh, you make me laugh a lot, Yama. I love it. All right. Any other questions? I think today was actually a pretty good day. A lot of people did pretty well, and I'm very happy with it. It seems like every day people are starting to get a little bit better, which is very good to see, as there's a lot of intricate things in regards to spotting certain stuff, but I'm seeing quite a bit of improvement, and it's making me happy. So keep grinding. Keep on grinding. And also, for the people, I am thinking about here soon after some things settle down is doing some PM streams and VIP where I trade fully discretionary. That way y'all can see my whole sauce. I need a jet, baby duty. We'll be live 8:15, 8:20. I'll send a confirmation time tonight. Yeah, I think we got like 8 or 9 people in there right now. Yep. But for the people in there, we'll be going live tomorrow morning, CST. Hell yeah, Nick. Grumpy Daddy. But yeah, no, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be playing safe. You'll see some discipline that you probably didn't think was possible. But with CPI, I'm playing it cautious. Just as I said in my weekly outlook about with news and what's going on, CPI being such a high impact day, even though it's 7:30 news, there's going to be a lot of volatility. So I'm going to be really putting my focus on just A+. A+ as well as A- with inverses. Yeah. WTB cool color for being. Yeah, you get a red name. See Yama. See you tomorrow morning, JS. I'll wrap this up probably here in 7 minutes, as usual, 7:30. Little 1 hour session. Really like that. So, any other questions with the time remaining? I'd love to answer them. Yeah, you get a nice red one. And as usual, this will be uploaded on YouTube. Got no other questions. I like that. Just need more screen time. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. For people that think this is easy, it's not. You have the sharpest sword in battle, but if you can't wield it, kiss yourself goodbye. Yeah, I know, and we're trying to work on them getting seconds time frame. if that's what you're referring to. We need it, especially for the people wanting to learn this. That would be nice. At least ingrain it in their mind. And that's also something someone was saying in chat earlier that I kind of wanted to hit on is backtesting. In my opinion, backtesting is good for data. It's about it. Backtesting, you do not have the same emotions. You are not in the live market. You don't have anything at risk. Comparing your results from backtesting to live trading is going to be significantly different. That's why I'm really only a fan of forward testing. Obviously, understand the model, ingrain it in your head, but your backtest data is not going to be the same as live when there's real shit on the line. Frankly put, there's no way around it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like if I hopped on FX replay, I could probably go do a whole month and probably have playing high time frame probably a 95 or 100% win rate. But in live market, if I'm trading discretionary high time frame, it's probably more realistically going to be 70, 75. You don't experience the same emotions. If you're scared of seeing price go up and go down on the screen, place a limit order, turn away. Yeah, just run out of the room. But I just want to make that clear. Backtesting, good for data, not good for building your foundation as a trader. Exactly. Yeah, tomorrow you'll be chilling. I don't think we ever let equal highs or equal lows go. Y'all, you know what would be hilarious is like if you could change it and it like anytime it hits you can, and anytime it hits your stop, you just make it a sound that says, "You stupid idiot." That would be funny. I didn't know you could change like the actual sound it makes. That's hilarious. Yeah, Yama's like, I need that. Oh, that would be hilarious. All right, 3 more minutes. Any other last minute questions? Shoot them my way. That would be funny. That would be so funny. I want to test something real quick since I'm on live because I need to know this for the morning. Let me know if y'all can hear my computer audio, like music playing. Can y'all hear anything? Okay, good. Because I play music and I don't want it to just be blaring over live in the morning. Britney Spears. No, I listen to house music while trading. House music or some jazz. If I'm feeling spiffy, I'll have some jazz going. Yeah, I listen to Party in the USA on repeat for the whole first 2 hours. Yeah, I need to figure out how I can get it on the screen, but like not too loud. Does that make sense? And it still goes through my headphones. I need to watch or look up something on how to get that like fine tuned, because I should be able to. I think you can actually connect Spotify somehow to Discord, which would be huge. But I'll look into that. Yeah, house music while trading is nice. That's something I've noticed is like a lot of scalpers will listen to house music. It's kind of funny. It's like a reoccurring thing. All right, I'll take a couple more questions if y'all have them. And then we'll wrap this up. I'll get this uploaded on YouTube. And we'll get prepared for the AM in the morning. And if you are wanting to, I do have the WAP link. You get 20% off for life with AP Fave. It's in the join VIP section. So. Thanks, Peter. We're good to go. I'll catch you in the morning, Yama. Dude, this dude has more memes than I've ever seen in my life. It's fun. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close the YouTube recording out.